note from Congressman Tom Tancredo. Ready?
More than 15 million illegal aliens have invaded our land, placing a massive burden on our schools and hospitals, threatening our security, and turning our country into a bilingual nation.
Why you're here today is because you care.
That's right. Right.
You care about our nation. You care about our Constitution.
Right.
You're concerned about where America is heading, and you're convinced that if the problems are going to be fixed, they're going to be fixed by the kind of people that stood with George Washington, not the light-tenured, pointy-headed, limp-wristed Beltway gang in Washington, D.C. Even though we shouldn't give up on America, I think we can all agree that we do need to give up on a few things.
Yes,
I think it's safe to say that we should give up on the professional politicians who go to Montgomery and Washington to fix all our problems, and then they end up becoming the biggest problem themselves. I think it's safe to say that we should give up on the idea that we need to put our faith in national party bosses that care more about winning elections and controlling the reins of power than they do about winning elections so they can return usurped power back to the people. We need to give up on this idea that politics is for the professionals. That the workings of government are too complicated for people like us. For many years, our professional politicians have flattered our egos to try to get our votes. And then they systematically treat us like ignorant children when they got elected. They tell us we're too dumb to educate our own kids. We're too incompetent to save for our own retirements. We're too lazy to look after the welfare of our neighbor. We're too irresponsible to defend our lives and our property. Even in our own state, we're told by too many politicians of both parties that we're not working hard enough. That we have to be taxed more to provide essential government services. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever met a bureaucrat that did not think their services were essential? It's not enough that they practically run our lives with a mountain of government laws and regulations. It's not enough that half our incomes are flushed every year down some dark hole of the Potomac or the Alabama River. Everything in our lives, everything today, has something to do with government. Even the amount of water in our toilets is regulated by the tree huggers in Washington, D.C. Our farmers can't sell privately milk, fresh milk, to American consumers. They can't. But you know what they can? We can sell food products from China that are shipped in here by the metric ton and have actually killed people. So who decided that it was better policy to extend more courtesy to the communist Chinese than to the people of our own country?
Communists did!
Jobs are going overseas. It says a lot about our nation when it's easier to start a business in communist China than it is here in the land of the free. Oh, but we're too ignorant to understand the complexities of foreign trade. We're too ignorant to understand the intricacies of economic development and the global economy. We're supposed to sit down, shut up, and give our wallets to the experts. Friends, I say it's high time that we give up on this failed policy. As long as we put our trust in these earthly princes, our future is doomed. Several years ago, a bunch of people, many of whom are in this room today, including John Killian, decided they had enough. And they formed an organization called the Alabama Republican Assembly. Now, we're a private organization. We're not directly affiliated with the Republican Party. So every now and again, you'll catch us breaking Ronald Reagan's 11th commandment to never criticize a fellow Republican.
All right.
This organization was started fundamentally, not about party, but about principle and about returning our government to the same principles that our ancestors fought for in 1776. Thank you. The Republican Party is supposed to be the party of limited government and personal liberty and the tradition of our framers. You ever hear people talk about that? You've heard a lot of that today. But for far too long, these principles have been hijacked by a few political professionals who think big government is only bad when they don't control it.
Right.
Instead of limiting government, they've grown government to levels that Bill Clinton never dreamed of.
That's right.
I believe it was Senator John McCain who complained that the Republican-led Congress was spending money like drunken sailors. You know, sometimes I wish that a drunken sailor would stand up and object to that insult. Because at least drunken sailors spend their own money, not Every 4 years, you've heard the same thing from the party bosses, that we have no choice but to vote for a big government Republican candidate, because if we don't, we'll get stuck with something worse, like Hillary Clinton. I don't know about you, but quite frankly, I'm tired about voting against something. I want to vote for something. If we never vote for what we want, we'll deserve what we get.
That's right.
That's what this straw poll is all about. You have an opportunity today, as representatives of grassroots politics in this state, to cast a ballot for the Republican presidential candidate of your choice. Not the choice in Washington, not the choice in the network news. Your choice.
And not the choice of the Republicans.
You don't have to vote for the lesser of two evils. You can vote who you want to be president. You don't have to settle for who you think may likely be the presidential nominee. Let the talking heads and the opinion pollsters do that. Today, on this day, don't settle, choose.
Yeah!
Woo! And as you make your choice, let me invite you to join the Alabama Republican Assembly. If you're a conservative who's sick and tired of the politics of equivocation and compromise, then join us. If you're tired of electing politicians who go to Washington and Montgomery to tell the bureaucrats what you want, and then they come home and tell you what you've got to settle for, join us. Being here today is a good start. Friends, please don't let it end here today. If you look to Washington or Montgomery as salvation, then you're part of the problem and not the solution. You probably don't belong here today. You know, a long time ago, a very wise king wrote a poem summarizing his political philosophy. And it was this same political philosophy that eventually founded our country. And it was the same philosophy, I believe, that we need to hearken unto to restore our country. And it goes something like this. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help comes from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. The Lord is thy keeper, and the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. He shall preserve thee from all evil, and preserve your soul. He shall preserve your going out and your coming in, from this time forth even forevermore. You know, folks, the hill that we should look to for help is not Capitol Hill, rather the mountain of Zion. Big government is not our keeper, but rather the Lord of heaven and earth. He is our shield. He's our help. We don't need Patriot Acts or Departments of Homeland Security. We don't need social safety nets. We don't need professional politicians to promise us salvation through legislation. What we need is to trust in the God of our fathers who gave us our rights, who gave us our liberties, and who alone can give us back our nation. What is our role? You know, a modern political activist put it really well, and I think it speaks to us today. He said, pray as if it all depends on God. Because you know something? It really does. But work as if it all depends on you.
Yes.
And when you work, please consider joining the Alabama Republican Assembly. You can visit our website at redstate1.com. Redstate1.com, there's a table in the back that you can sign up for our email list. And I want to thank you all again for coming. Voting ends in just about 10 minutes, so you better hurry if you haven't voted. Thank y'all very much.